and has to paint one pitcher in the game, the selection of Roy Halladay would not be dubious.
Halladay has thrown the second perfect game in Philadelphia Phillies history.
Today, the Rockies look to spoil Halladay's return home. Baseball is next. On a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, folks filing inside 20th and Blake as the Rockies are getting set to take on the Philadelphia Phillies, looking to salvage one of three as the Phillies shut out the Rockies last night behind 8 strong innings from Kyle Kendrick. The final score 5-0. Good afternoon, everybody. Along with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. It will not be easy today because Roy Halladay is taking the baseball for Philadelphia. The former Arvada West star and #1 pick out of high school here in the state will make just his second appearance ever at Coors Field. He is special, George.
I don't know if that's even good enough to say special. I think this guy's off the charts. Overall record, and looking at 182 and 90, but what he's done in Philadelphia, 2 seasons, 34 and 14 perfect games, no hitters. He's done a little bit of everything while he's been in a Phillies uniform. 15 complete games. When he gets the baseball, the bullpen can take a nap. Normally he's out there for at least 8 innings anyway. 4 shutouts this year, 371 strikeouts and 49 walks. Interesting right now, he a guy that just doesn't walk anybody. I mean, he throws the ball over the plate. You look at his stuff, it's a lot of ground ball outs. It's a very good slider, but yet he just pounds the strike zone, and he's got that bulldog mentality you want from a #1 starter.
Well, he won a Cy Young last year. He may be the odds-on favorite to repeat again this year.
I would agree with you. I don't know anybody else out there that's really going to pound against him because of what his team has done in the number of wins and what he's done with 4 #1s on there.
Yep, he's got 4 pitches. They're all around the strike zone. He doesn't walk anybody. You really got to swing the bats well to hope to beat him, and Jason Hamill will have to be on his game. More to come as we get you prepared for first pitch, Rockies and Phils. against Roy Halladay this afternoon as the Rockies again try to win 1 of 3 against Philadelphia. Back upstairs, I'm Drew Goodman. Jason Hamill's kind of had an up and down season. For more on what he has been up to, we check in with Alana Rizzo. Alana?
All right, Drew, thanks very much. Jason Hamill will have to come back in a bounce-back performance today. That is what Jim Tracy said about him, working off that last outing that he had. But really, Roy Halladay is the bigger picture today when you look at this game. Roy Halladay has been good against everybody, and the Colorado Rockies are no different. In the 3 games that Roy Halladay has pitched against Colorado, he has given up only 2 earned runs. In fact, a .77 ERA against the Colorado Rockies. A very difficult guy to hit. I talked to hitting coach Carney Lansford about his message to his team about trying to beat the best.
These are the kind of guys you want to compete against. And really you have nothing to lose, because if they get you out, it's not news. But if you do something good against them, you get on SportsCenter. Or you get on Root Highlights. So, you know, I just tell the guys to go out and compete the best they can and take our shot. You know, the guy's a great pitcher, but, you know, he's lost before.
I prefer the highlights to be on Root Sports and not watch SportsCenter. But you know what? Carney Lansford has a good point. You can go out there and do something against this guy, and it's a bigger deal because people expect you to get out. Jim Tracy was also saying, you know what? This is an opportunity for us to bounce back. We won the series in San Diego. It's an opportunity for us to get back on the right track. But even more so, it is an opportunity for Jason Hamill to make sure he has to be on his game, because pitching mediocre is not going to get it done. Those are the words of Jim Tracy, Drew.
Well, even at this level, Alana, there's going to be a little more bounce in your step when you're facing Roy Halladay. Rockies and Phils, come on back to Coors Field with us. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Ford Fusion, with quality, power, and economy, we speak value. Ford Fusion, drive one. By Quest. Quest is becoming CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com/link. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Jason Hamill and the Rockies facing the Phillies for the final time this year. Tomorrow the Nationals come in to begin a 4-game set. Jimmy Rollins, the leadoff hitter for Philadelphia, and he has been for a number of years. Here's the rest of Charlie Manuel's lineup, presented by Southwest Airlines. He rolls out basically the same lineup every day. Victorino, Utley, Howard, Hunter Pence, the new guy in the 5-hole. Then Ibanez. Carlos Ruiz moves up a spot. Wilson Valdez has third for Polanco today. First pitch of the ball game is high, ball 1. Jimmy Rollins, switch hitter. Jason Hamill at 6 at 10, and he misses there. It's 2-0.
Well, the overall numbers, 22nd start for Jason, 6 and 10, where he started a year out, was so good at 3-1 in April, 323 earned run average. Since that span, 3 and 9. Had struggled. 69 strikeouts and 127 and 2/3 innings. Working under the first couple of fastballs here to fall behind 3-0.
That's how Aaron Cook began the ball game yesterday. He walked Jimmy Rollins on 4 pitches. Ended up giving up 2 runs in the first. That's in there, 3-1. Well, the Phillies are tough whether they play in the afternoon or they play it in the evening. They've won 70 times in 109 ball games, but they have the best record in day games in the National League. I guess that's not a surprise when you have the best overall record in the game, but they're 26 and 11 in the sunshine.
Yeah, that type of starting staff, there's a pretty good opportunity. You're going to win a lot of baseball games. Well, that fastball after working it back 3-2, high and inside, and a leadoff walk.
Check of the gloves. Eric Young again in left field. He's being given an opportunity to play out there. He's handled himself well so far. Dexter Fowler in center. Seth Smith again in right. Stewart and Helton on the corners. Tulowitzki and Ellis up the middle. Troy's finger feeling well enough that he can go, which is great. Eliezer Alfonso's behind the plate. Troy came out of the ball game late yesterday. His pinky was bothering him. No big deal. And took batting practice out on the field today. Philadelphia hit inside. Have to deal with the speed of Jimmy Rollins at first, and immediately you're out of the stretch, George. Not how you want to start things.
Not how you want to start things, and behind on everybody. You've thrown 7 pitches, and 5 of those have been for a ball.
And Victorino hitting .368 over his last 10. He hit the home run in the 10th inning to beat the Rockies ultimately on Monday. Off of Rex Brothers on a 3-2 97-mile-an-hour fastball. That slipped out of his hand. 2-0. You know, when you're at home, George, the starting pitcher can really set the tone.
Well, no question.
You get to the dugout quickly, and you can set the tone the other way also. 3 straight to Victorino miss. Honestly, the last 2 not even close.
9 pitches, 2 strikes, and typically that's where you've got to be able to throw strikes and throw them very quality strikes against this type of a lineup.
And one of the things that has to be alarming to the man you just saw, Bob Apodaca, and obviously the guy in the hill also, and that's ball 4, is that the last couple of years, one thing you could count on with Hamill was to throw strikes. This year, and he would get his fair share of strikeouts. This year, his strikeouts are way down, about 2.5 down per 9 innings, which is a lot.
69 strikeouts, 127 and 2/3, and the 51 walks up.
Way up, George. I mean, from about 2.5 walks per 9, which is outstanding, to closing in on 4 a game.
Well, the only thing that's going to get you here is you start giving free passes. You can get away with this against mediocre teams in the middle of the pack, but you can't get away with it when you're facing somebody like Roy Halladay and the Phillies. The only thing that's going to happen to you there, damage early in the game. It happened yesterday. They staked Kyle Kendrick to a 2-0 lead, and he hung on to it throughout that ball game. 8 shutout innings.
I mean, these are ideal conditions to work in.
We talk about how this team travels, what it does. There's certain players in there, talking about the Phillies. Utley has 13 RBIs in the last 13 games. Well, guess what? His ball club's 10-3.
And that's outside. Ball 1. Home plate umpire is a guy that's gotten a lot of attention lately, and he wishes he didn't. It's Jerry Meals. He made the he had that missed call in the 19-inning affair. Pirates in Atlanta at home plate. He's joined with C.B. Buckner, Dan Iasogna, and Dale Scott first through third.
One thing, when you're struggling with fastball command, sometimes what will help you is to throw a changeup, throw a curveball, throw a slider. And out of the 12 pitches thrown, 10 out of the strike zone, all 10 of those have been fastballs. There's only been one off-speed pitch thrown for a strike in the sequence so far, facing the first 3 batters of the Phillies.
Here's the 2-0 to Utley.
There's the breaking ball.
He went to a slider and he missed, and it's 3-0. 3 straight hitters out of the chute, and he's been 3-0 on each one of them. And by major league standards, you just saw the 4th strike zone. He's not even close.
Yeah, it's not like he's trying to nitpick the corners. It's well off the zone.
Howard's on deck. And I know, George, and help us out with this. I mean, you pitched in the big leagues for a long time. Folks are sitting there and go, well, you know what's 3-0? He just threw a 94-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. Why couldn't he do that on the previous
that's the
3
whole
pitches?
thing, because when you do start to get in that rut of throwing balls, you try harder, you throw harder, you get out of sync with your delivery instead of doing something different. That's why I say always throw something off speed to slow the body back down. Slow the game down. Give yourself a chance. Now 3 straight walks, and you've got a guy that's hit more home runs, driven in more runs than anybody in baseball. And last night he put on a show here at Coors Field. The first home run traveled the distance in right center field. He knew it, the dugout knew it. It hit on the facade of that deck above the bullpen, and then he went opposite field off of Matt Lindstrom into left field. So he hit his 27th career multi-home run game last night for Ryan Howard, and here he is with the bases loaded early in this ball game.
Nobody earned their way on. Jimmy Rollins, Shane Victorino, and Chase Utley. And I'm not saying that just because they walk, but you know, sometimes you'll grind out a walk long at bat. It's a good walk. Hamill didn't throw anything close to the zone. There's a strike on Howard. And keep in mind, if the Rockies don't have a long haul guy today, they had to use him yesterday in Edgmer Escalona because Cook came down with neck spasms and only went 4 innings. Escalona went 3. He's not available.
Hardest part of this is when you walk in and you could shoulder it. Pitchers know it, but you know what? This is where a manager can tell you in between and before the game, it's all yours, buddy. You might give up 20 runs, but you got to give us 6 innings today. You're going to have to go out and wear it. So go out and start pounding the strike zone. Get aggressive with what you're doing.
It happened to Mark Redmond a few years back.
10 runs.
10 in the first, and then 5 zeros. That's pulled foul, 1 and 2. Howard is 2 for 16 against the Rockies this year. And George talked about the 2 hits he has. They were both last night, and they both allowed him to jog. Home runs he hit last night is 4th and 5th at Coors Field in his career. And a strikeout. So Hamill walks the bases loaded, and then he strikes out Ryan Howard.
And the one thing you got to tell yourself right now, 1 pitch from walking out of the inning, not giving up anything if I get a double play ball. Now this is where he probably threw the best breaking ball he's thrown all day. Went right underneath the bat of Ryan Howard.
Hunter Pence at the plate. Pence has never had 100 RBI a year, but he has played in a poor lineup down in Houston. He basically had Carlos Lee and Hunter Pence to drive in runs once Lance Berkman left town. Lance was beat up his last couple of years in Houston injury-wise. This is in the air to center field. It'll get a run home. Fowler will make the catch. Rollins will score. Victorino will move to third. So Hunter Pence drives in his 65th run of the year. 1-0 Philadelphia. Raul Ibanez. He's been driving in runs at a very high rate of late. 26 ribbies in his last 23 games. And he's 11 for his last 22 with runners in scoring position. 2 are out. Victorino at third, Nutley at first.
Well, one area that he's been able to handle with 2 outs, runners in scoring position. They've only hit 184 against Hamill. He needs the out here. Big time. Well, Milwaukee's starting to put a little gap on the National League Central. They're playing against the Cardinals right now. They got a 2.5 game lead. They lead the Cardinals 5-4 in the 4th in Milwaukee.
No brawls yet?
Not yet. A lot of talking.
1-2 on Ibanez.
Tell you, if Hamill escapes this trap that he had, bases loaded, nobody out, I mean, it might be Jason Houdini at the end of this inning.
One and 2 the count on Raul Ibanez. Pretty good thought. Utley was looked like he was moving, George.
Cherry picking stolen base number 12. In other words, thinking going to home plate, it's a 1-2 count. Probably in a breaking ball type count. That's what he threw to Ryan Howard to get the strikeout. He looked poor at a poor swing on the last one. The fastball blew it by him.
Well, he strikes out Ibanez. The way that inning started, you feel really fortunate if you're Jason Hamill to have only given up 1. In the inning, a sac fly by Hunter Pence produced the run. Eric Young Jr. getting a long look in the leadoff spot, and at least the last few days in left field. Carlos Gonzalez scheduled to return on Saturday. Here's the rest of the Southwest Airlines lineup for Jim Tracy this afternoon. Dexter Fowler again in the 2 spot. He's been doing good things since coming back from the disabled list and then a stint in Colorado Springs. Helton will bat third, 1 for 6 lifetime against Halladay. Tulowitzki and Smith, then Stewart, Mark Ellis, Eliezer Alfonso, and Jason Hamill. And here is Arvada West, Roy Halladay, 17th pick in the first round of the '95 draft out of A West.
Well, a lot of big numbers too. I mean, 13-4. The 13 wins, tied for first in the National League. ERA is first. Complete games first. Strikeouts fourth. Walks per 9 innings first. I think if you put a mold out there, Drew, this is the guy you say number one. This is the guy you say is the best in the game.
It's because of the consistency. That may be a double. Look at that. I have never seen that before. I have never seen a drag bunt end up over the first baseman's head in short right field.
Well, that's what happens whenever everybody gets sucked in, because you show bunt like that, and they all come flying in to make the play on the bunt, and then you hit a soft line drive to right. Yeah, how about that, huh? Take the base hit any way you can get it, get on base, utilize that speed. Ryan Howard, he gets pulled in. See, he's coming in as a whoop, I got to go back the other way, and that ain't happening. Baseball fellas were on EY's side.
And Dexter takes a pitch off the plate, ball one. Well, the Rockies, with the combination of Eric Young and Dexter Fowler, is running a little bit better on the base paths in terms of stealing bases. The Rockies are third in the National League since the All-Star break in steals. They have 18 in their last 19 games. Only San Diego with 33, and the Marlins with 19 bags have more. There goes Junior, and the throw's not even close. He could have stolen that standing up. He's got 8 bags now.
Well, Roy Halladay is one of those old school guys. He'll mix up his delivery occasionally, but for the most part, he's still going to maintain the same type of leg kick because he feels so confident getting the hitter out. That allows the base runner, EY, to get a bigger jump and be successful.
1-1 on Fowler. 2-1. Well, the last time that Roy was here, the only time that Roy pitched at Coors Field, it's not that he gave up many runs, but in 6 1/3, he did give up 10 hits.
Yeah, he got beat around a little bit. A lot of ground ball singles, a lot of soft line drives. It is hard to come back here when your hometown, whether it's Denver or wherever you're from, and deal with not just the game part of it, but to deal with the family side of things. Because, you know, this is the one trip in. Hey, we're getting lucky. We get to watch him. Everybody wants a ticket.
Wow, and then Howard throws it away. Here comes EY. Fowler to second. 1-1. Now, that's not the way the Phillies play typically. Howard couldn't pick it up twice, and then he compounded the problem by throwing it over the head of Roy Halladay.
Well, he has 6 errors coming into the game. He's going to have 8 now for not fielding it cleanly, and then he's going to flip it over the head of Halladay, which allowed Dexter Fowler to move into position, grabbed it, lost it, picked it up with the glove, didn't have it, on the ground again, and then, I'll play catch with the camera well. Not what he was trying to attempt to do, but he just didn't pick it up. He looked to see where Halladay looked to see where the runner was when he went down with the glove. EY picks a look up here. He's going to turn the corner. Look, when he sees the ball going to the well, off to the races again to tie the ball game 1-1.
So Helton with nobody out and Fowler at second, and Todd takes a strike. Talking to Todd earlier, the pitch that he's going to be really aware of is that cutter. And there it is. You see, George, that thing moved close to a foot.
Well, he gets such great extension to the home plate area. It missed a good foot and a half on the inner half of the plate. Todd right up on top of the plate, that right at the thigh area.
Just 3 starts against Colorado. Was Halladay all those years in Toronto. This is his second in the National League. And Todd hits a rollover to second.
I would think the Rockies haven't hit the ball farther than 100 feet at any point in time in this game. And you got to run out of it against a guy like Halladay. You got to feel pretty good.
Well, he moved the runner, so with 1 out, Fowler the go-ahead run at third base. Defensively, it's Ibanez, Victorino, and Pence again in the outfield. The only change is Wilson Valdez for Placido Polanco. Carlos Ruiz is the everyday catcher. He caught Monday, had last night off as Brian Schneider had the gear on, and Ruiz is back in there this afternoon.
Well, Tulowitzki, an opportunity to put the Rockies on top in this ball game with 1 out and a runner at third base. He has struggled against the Phillies this year, 1 for 15.
And he has never faced Roy Halladay.
Well, it goes back to that old adage, don't give him a pitch to hit if he's the guy that can beat you.
This will get it done. Victorino sets his feet. He airs it out. Dexter will score easily. So Tulowitzki drives in run number 74. And the Rockies have a 2-1 lead on Roy Halladay here in the first inning. And they have a bunt base hit. That's it. Of course, Philadelphia didn't produce a hit, scoring their run in the first inning. Kind of a strange beginning.
3 runs on 1 hit.
That's what we're talking about.
That is a little odd, isn't it?
That is. Seth Smith hits it in the air to center, and that'll be the 3rd out. But the Rockies take advantage of the miscue by Ryan Howard, and they take a 2-1 lead to the 2nd. One Colorado. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo again. Alana.
All right, guys, thanks very much. You're talking about how speed kills. I'm talking about EY Jr. You know, when he went back to Colorado Springs, his MO was specifically to work in the outfield. And since his return to the big leagues, that's exactly where he's been. Jim Tracy earlier today says that he can just tell that EY Jr. is a lot more comfortable out there. He said he has much cleaner routes, and although he knows he doesn't have a bazooka arm when he catches the ball, there's a few things he just wants him to do. Catch the ball, catch the ones that you're supposed to hit. Make sure you hit your cutoff man. And if you can't do that, just make sure that the double play stays in order. Now, again, it's all about the chances that you're getting out there in left field, but he does feel that he's done a nice job since he has been back to the big club. It's all about repetition, guys, and that's exactly what he worked on in AAA.
Hey, Alana.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, Frage.
I brought strawberry shortcake yesterday. What'd you bring today?
An umbrella. A fan.
An umbrella? That's where you need an umbrella for.
It's very hot out here.
Okay.
But I didn't bring you any food. I apologize for that. Frage, I don't even know where the kitchen is in my house. So I apologize that I couldn't bring you any food.
Okay. All right. Just because there's not any delis between here and there. It's okay.
I
Don't
ran
worry
out of time.
about it.
It's a day game. You got to get here really early. The stores aren't open as early as we get here.
I got you. All right.
Excuses, George. What do we think of excuses up here?
Everybody's got one.
Wilson Valdez after the base hit by Carlos Ruiz. Valdez, a veteran backup infielder. Hamill seems to be more online now, George, after walking the first 3 hitters of the ball game.
Yeah, his elbow is really collapsing, and when you collapse your elbow and break late off the rubber, you're going to work under the ball, so then you end up pushing the baseball. And it's going to be up in the strike zone. Nice crowd here. Afternoon game, good baseball. 2-1 Rockies. What more could you ask for? Banana pudding.
Strawberry shortcake from yesterday.
There ain't any of that left.
Oh, 0-2 on Wilson Valdez, and that pitch misses. Valdez has played in the big leagues with the White Sox, Seattle, the Padres, the Dodgers, the Mets. And a fly ball to Dexter in center. 1 out. Well, Jason Hamill has been in an at times. Pitched very well in San Diego, Frazier.
He did very well there. 5 strikeouts, 2 runs over 6 in the third. But again, it's a matter of being able to having the consistency you need to be successful at the big league level. He had that early. He was 3-1 at the start of the year, and then scuffled since then with his record, not been able to win a lot of ball games to the tune of 3-9.
Halladay at the plate, and he gets the bunt down. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Jimmy Rollins. Toyota Talk comes your way in the 6th inning. And here is your question for the day. If the world team was playing an intergalactic game, and it was game 7, and you had to send 1 guy to the hill, and you had your choice of anybody on the world team, i.e. Major League Baseball,
What
who would
did you
pick?
just say? What are they doing? They're playing at Mars
that
or
team.
somewhere?
Yeah, they're playing that team from Mars. It's really good, that all-star team.
Okay.
Text Toyota followed by a space, and then your selection for who would start that game to 720-720.
For the whole history of the game?
No,
or
no, no,
today's starters?
no. You can only pick a guy that's pitching
Active.
right now.
All right.
Somebody would have said Cy Young, and that's a base hit. And around third comes Ruiz. Here's the throw by Smith. It misses the cutoff man, and that allows Rollins to move to second base. Those are the little things right there, because if that ball's lower, they didn't really have a chance at Ruiz. That ball's lower. Rollins isn't in scoring position.
Exactly, and you get a read as a base runner where this throw's coming from when you make that turn at first base. Smith had to wait on the good hop to get there, and he fired so high, well over all of the cutoff man. That allowed for Jimmy Rollins to get into scoring position, and now you got a tie ball game. Rollins now with 48 RBIs on the year.
Yeah, that's a fundamental thing right there. Ball just took off on Seth, so it's a 2-2 ball game. And you have great wheels at second base, and Jimmy Rollins. Victorino a tough out at the plate. Shane now a 2-time All-Star, hitting .303 coming in. 2-0. He hasn't seen a strike yet.
He's not going to chase anything, I can tell you that. He's going to get a pitch he wants.
Basically have 2 leadoff hitters, George, at the top.
Yeah, a lot of guys with stolen bases. We talked about that yesterday. You have 50 stolen bases, and you've been caught 8 times, and your top 3 guys in the lineup had a lot of pressure. Doug's full of great news. So every time he hands me one of these sheets with a guy in scoring position, you know, it was great before. Hamill, they've hit 184 against him. Now that went up a little bit with the base hit. Victorino's hit 324 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. punch, counter punch. Is that what we got a little thing working there with the counts? Yeah. A lot of managers in this situation, and the Rockies have had success with pickoffs at second base, but a lot of times managers with 2 outs and a 2-0 count really want to hold your defense. Don't get out of position holding base runners. Kind of hold your ground defensively in case this ball's hit on the ground. You can make a play.
This ball is lined to right. Rollins around third, and he will score easily.
I think he got hurt, Drew, because he was jogging big time off of second base. I'm talking about Jimmy Rollins. Got a little stiff leg working now. He was jogging when that ball was hit. Coming around, and he got to third base area, and he turned it up a notch to get in safe. That's just an unusual deal.
Let's see if he goes and visits with a trainer. 3-2 Philadelphia. Now how big's that missed cutoff, by the way?
It's huge. Now watch this. After the base hit to right field, you'll see Jimmy Rollins out at second. See, this is a base hit. Here to second, when this thing comes around. I really think either he hurt something, didn't get a good read. See, that's kind of stiff-legged.
Yeah, I agree with you. It looked like he was favoring.
Here it is right here. Watch. See, I mean, that's a jog.
He picked it up there. You know what? It was interesting. Obviously, something's bothering him a little bit.
He doesn't run like that.
No. Goes back to something, George, that you would know a lot about. Jeff Houston as well. At this time of year, nothing feels really good.
Well, it's a long year. You're absolutely right. You're in a lineup every single day. I mean, he's walking around. There's no any trainers talking to him or anything. Maybe he got a little cramp or something. I don't know. That was just an unusual start to a base hit in right field.
Here's the first pitch to Utley, and he gets plunked. And now there's 2 on. This is an inning that won't end. After the sac bunt by Halladay, you had 2 outs. Ruiz at second, Rollins at the plate. Base hit, hit batter. And then you got to deal with Ryan Howard again.
And he's already been up once with the bases loaded, struck out. So now here he comes up now. Well, you look at the active leaders that have been hit by a pitch. Chase Utley on that list with 133. Jason Kendall 254 times. The Rockies' Jason Giambi with 172 at distant second.
He's rapidly moving up that list. The Rockies saw earlier with the White Sox, Carlos Quint. Foul tip at the plate by Howard. Struck out on a breaking ball with the bases loaded his first time. 3 straight walks by Hamill in the first inning. Then he struck out Howard. Pence hit a fly ball to center to score a run. And he struck out Ibanez. Hamill had to feel fortunate to give up just 1 with the bases loaded, nobody out situation. But now he's given up 2 here in the second, all with 2 outs. Fastball misses. 1-1. Good start to the season for Hamill. He was 3-1 with a 3.23 ERA in April. .39 since then. This ball's well hit to center field, and it is off the top of the wall. It'll score 2 runs. Howard cruising into second with a 2-run double, and it's 5-2 Philadelphia. Yeah, you may get him once. It's hard to get him frequently when there's runners out there. He is an RBI machine.
Yeah, you really got lucky. Nobody out, bases loaded earlier. Jim Tracy can only look down to figure out, well, where do I turn to? Because I've used Escalona last night for 3. So where do I got to go? Well, Howard comes up again. A couple of runners on. 1 in scoring position. This ball 415 feet to the base of the wall in dead center field. Quickly have a 5 spot on the board on 4 hits by the Philadelphia Phillies.
Hunter Pence takes a slider for a strike. Pence last night, his first multi-hit game in a Philadelphia uniform. couple of doubles last night. Howard with the 2 ribbies there just took over the RBI lead in the National League. Ryan's got 85. Matt Kemp, who's had a tremendous season, has 84. Good pitch, 1-2. Well, Jason Worth signed a very lucrative deal with Washington in the offseason for $126 million. Hunter Pence, just acquired a few days ago, slides into a 5-hole that had been very unproductive this year for Philadelphia, surprisingly so, even with Worth gone. .233 average, 13th in the league, just 10 home runs, 11th in the league before Hunter Pence arrived. Those numbers are going to go up. They're going to improve considerably. This guy, each of the last 3 years, has hit 25 home runs. And as I said, he's never had a 100 RBI year, but there weren't a lot of guys on in front of him unless Michael Bourne got on.
Well, think of Houston's record over those years. I mean, it really wasn't very good at the time. I mean, they had the big kid out of, they gave all the money to, Doug, help me out, left fielder with Houston Astros.
Carlos
Lee, but you know, still yet, that's not a guy that's going to speed demon around the base paths.
Strike 3 on the outside corner, so Hamill freezes Pence. Howard drives in 2. 4 runs overall for the Phils in the second. They have a 5-2 advantage. Philadelphia Phillies have a 5-2 lead as the Rockies come up in the second inning against Roy Halladay, who's 13-4. Ian Stewart 2 for 6 against Halladay. Takes inside ball 1. You know the drill. When the Rockies score 7 or more in any ball game, make your way to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Well, you know, we have Philly fans here. We understand that. And her friend is a displaced Giant fan. The Giants got caught by the Arizona Diamondbacks. How about that?
Yeah, they're playing some really good baseball right now, aren't they?
This ball is pulled to the corner in right. It is a fair ball. And Ian Stewart is going to have a leadoff double. He's now 3 for 7. Against Roy Halladay.
Yeah, maybe it's just one of those games. You just never know. They've got 5 on the board. Why not go get a little more? A mistake they wanted on the inner half of the plate. Got out over the plate. Stewart seemed to be looking for it. Very good swing by Ian Stewart. Drive that ball down the right field corner.
Well, safe at second. Safe and secure New York life. I talked to Stewart earlier. And he said, you know, though it may sound crazy, he likes facing guys like Roy Halladay, and I think you'll hear some hitters say this, maybe not to Roy Halladay's degree, but Halladay is around the zone with all of his pitches, so you can be aggressive. He's not going to nibble. You're going to get something around the zone to swing at. And Ian said he was looking forward to that.
I like the other side of it too. People look forward to the challenge of facing these Cy Young winners. People wanted to face Curt Schilling. You didn't maybe have a whole lot of fun doing it. They wanted to face Randy Johnson. They wanted to face those guys.
Even at this level, I'm sure for you, George, when you face some of the big names, you're trying to get guys out, obviously.
Absolutely, you are. But you look
a little more adrenaline rush, right?
You look up C.P. Rose and George Brett and Dave Parker and Willie Stargell. Yeah, you get a little excited about that.
Two-strike count on Mark Ellis. And Mark is gone. That's the first strikeout for Halladay. That'll bring up Eliezer Alfonso. Well, it's not too early to start to weigh in on the postseason awards and possible candidates. Roy Halladay, 2.44 ERA, leading everybody. Ian Kennedy's had a great year for Arizona. Clayton Kershaw, a terrific year for the Dodgers. But for me right now, you got a repeat winner. You're talking about the best team in baseball, and he leads arguably the best staff in baseball.
And do you go and give it to a guy like Kershaw that's on a bad baseball team that's won 13 games, lost 4, got an earned run average under 3? Or do you look at Roy Halladay, what he's done on a team with 4 number ones? For me, it's Roy Halladay, and based on what he's done, carrying the load of this ball club, setting the tone for everything.
That is a base hit by Alfonso down the line. Stewart is going to score easily. It is 5-3. What'd you say a few minutes ago, George? It may be one of those days.
It's been one of those days, one of those ugly games for Roy Halladay, and you hope it is, the way things have gone so far. I mean, it's now a 5-3 ball game and only 1 out. Hamill at the plate. Maybe he could do the same thing Roy did, sacrifice over, and the Rockies put a bunch of hits together.
Wilson Valdez dove, and I think by his reaction, you saw it there on the left of your screen, he believes he should have fielded that. Hamill gets the bunt down, and with 2 outs, Alfonso at second for Eric Young Jr.
Well, 182 and 90. That's Roy Halladay's record in his career. Almost won 67% of his games. That's 10th all time. You start telling you stats and they say all time, that's a whole lot of pitchers.
Yeah, the phrase,
great pitchers.
Yeah, the phrase all time, when it's included in something you've done, that's a good thing.
Or history of.
And like, well, it doesn't always have to be a good thing, but typically it is.
Yeah.
Halladay's 34. Talk about the ideal physique to pitch with. 6'6", 230 pounds. 1 ball, 1 strike on Junior. He had a bunt base hit, which was more of a soft line drive over Ryan Howard's head.
Hard to do this time. Howard's all the way back. And you won't see it. Like Drew said, the first time he'd seen it. You just don't see it very often in one of those. Every now and then you'll see, like on a coverage where they shoot the thing out everywhere.
Ground ball to Howard. Tags the bag, and that's all for the Rockies. They get a leadoff double from Stewart, and he comes around on an Alfonso base hit. 5-3. Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by King Supers, more value for the way you live. It's been interesting so far. Philadelphia scored 5 times. The Rockies 3 runs on 3 hits against Roy Halladay. Top of inning number 3. Jason Hamill looking for a quiet inning. He hasn't had one of those yet. A run in the first for Philadelphia, and it could have been more. 4 last inning. Raul Ibanez struck out to end that first inning, and he takes strike 1 here. Well, the Rockies announced their organizational players of the month. It was picked 2, a pitcher naturally and a position player. And they're both on the same team, and you know a lot about them, George, because your son Parker plays with both of them. But Chad Bettis was named the pitcher of the month in the Rockies organization, 4-1 with a 3.07 ERA, 43 punchouts, 12 walks, a product of Texas Tech. And a guy that you were raving to me about, that we know a little bit about, is Kent Mathis, an outfielder who hit 341, 9 doubles, 9 home runs, 36 RBIs last month for Modesto.
Yeah, picking up on a lot of power down there, because I think with Bettis and Mathis, Bettis is a power pitcher that will run it up to 98 miles an hour at times. Sandwich pick out of Texas a year ago with Dark Cox was a scout that got him in the draft and made everybody aware of what he had. And Kent Mathis, a lot of people don't know this about him, but he was the runner-up to Steven Strasburg for the Golden Spike Award as the best college baseball player. Missed a lot of time a year ago. Now he's old for the league there. He'll be 25 in January. But man, he's got a 70 arm. I mean, he can really throw it in the outfield. He runs well. And if you look at him, he's got the build of a shortstop. I mean, he's not a big guy with big forearms and big upper half. He just got a tremendous amount of bat speed.
Eric Young Jr. catches that fly ball from Ibanez, and Kent Mathis is a product of the University of Alabama. They've been turning out some talent.
Well, you've got Rutledge there too, that has a long hitting streak going on at Modesto. That he was a 3rd round pick out of Alabama, 2nd round pick out of Alabama. So I mean they've gotten to the point where they're starting to throw out some pretty good baseball players.
Carlos Ruiz at the plate. He swings at the first pitch, and Todd Helton in foul ground, shading his eyes. Todd will make the catch. A reminder that if your windshield is damaged in any way, shape, or form, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com.
You coming down Saturday morning at 9 o'clock?
What are we doing?
What do you mean, what are you doing? It's fantasy camp game, 9 o'clock Saturday morning here at Coors Field. 9 a.m.
I thought it was afterward.
No,
before?
9 a.m. That's typical. You'd have got here at 5. 9 a.m. Game starting.
Are you in uni again?
I'm not in uni. I'm going to come down, though. I'm going to have a cup of coffee with everybody. Relax. Looking forward to seeing a lot of the new friends I have that went down to fantasy camp a year ago.
Wilson Valdez fouls it off. I got to check with the boss.
Gabe
and Chris. Yep. Well, fantasy camp, always a blast. It's going to be a busy and exciting fantasy camp in January. The Rockies have their first ever fantasy camp at their beautiful new facility in Scottsdale. Here's the 1-2 to Valdez, outside, 2-2. Phillies have won 5 in a row. It's the 4th time this year they've had a winning streak of at least 5 games. Their longest streak this year, 7. On the ground to Mark Ellis. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jason Hamill in the 3rd. Phil's 5, Rockies 3. Umbrella for the sunshine today. a good competitor. Hey there.
Hi, how y'all doing? Enjoying the game? Hey,
Yeah,
Mom brought the backpack, got everything in there. That's right.
And Mom is a Sherpa also. Beautiful day with Mom at the ballpark. He said it, Cy Young. I remember when he said it. Our Geico quote of the day: a pitcher's got to be good and he's got to be lucky to get a no-hit game. Well, Roy Halladay knows all about no-hitters. He knows about perfect games also.
Hey, well, how many no-hitters did Cy Young throw?
What do you have, Doug? 3?
Doug, come on, Doug. I'd give you something simple like that. He's won the Cy Young. 1 in each league, he says.
Did Cy Young ever win the Cy Young, George?
Yeah, that's why they got it.
1 ball, 1 strike inside, 2-1 on Dexter Fowler. Dexter reached on an error by Ryan Howard. It's actually 2 errors on the play. He kept bobbling it, and then he decided to flip it over the head of Roy Halladay, which is not easy to do. Roy is, as we described, 6'6". 2-2 on Dex. 3-2.
Well, it's an ugly play all the way around. Best way to put it. Milwaukee in the 6th over St. Louis 7-4 now. Randy Wolf started for the Brew Crew. Edwin Jackson for the Cardinals.
I'm a Randy Wolf fan. I think he's a very good middle of the road pitcher. That just missed, and a rare walk allowed by Roy Halladay. It's just the 20th he's allowed this year. Well, we flash back a year ago. First season in the National League, Roy Halladay won a Cy Young. He threw a perfect game against the Florida Marlins on May 29th. And if that wasn't enough, he threw a no-no in the playoffs. Cy Young said you have to be good and you have to be a little bit lucky. He's pretty good.
Kind of all the above. He hits every category you're looking for. And this was a guy rushed to the big leagues by Toronto, then sent all the way back to Dunedin to restart his career and get back on proper footing. And sure enough, it's obvious he's been on pretty grounded ever since.
It's a great story. He was sent all the way down to A-ball when he struggled. And he has said that he spent a lot of time regathering his thoughts, trying to figure out the game. Fowler steals second standing up. I mean, he was almost second before the ball came out of Doc Halladay's hand.
7 stolen base for Dexter Fowler. Well, one of the guys here in Denver, Buzz Campbell, was Roy's personal. They're a big, huge guy. Big jump. Roy Halladay's personal pitching coach. A lot of times early on when he was with Toronto, if he was in Texas going to Kansas City and he was in between starts, needed a bullpen, he would fly here to Denver and throw his bullpen with Bus watching. Bus had nothing to do with Toronto or Philly or anyone else. Bus no longer with us. Longtime pitching coach in the area, longtime pitching coach for Baldy Muschietti and the Boulder Collegians.
Well, you worked with him, George.
Yep. Great guy.
Pokes it to center field for a base hit, and Fowler makes this a 1-run game. For Helton, his 55th RBI, it is 5-4.
Well, I can tell you right now, nobody anticipated this kind of a outcome just 3 innings into a ball game. Helton got way out in front, but it's that tremendous hand-to-eye contact that he has and the coordination to maintain that bat where it needs to go to have success. And the wand, the magic wand, came through again for Todd Helton.
So Dexter, stolen base. after a rare walk from Halladay, and he's in the house 5-4. Tulowitzki a sac fly in the first inning. And he drags a bunt. Halladay scoops it up and gets it to Howard just in time.
Well, spend at least $25. That's right, $25 in one transaction at King Soopers, and guess what? You can buy up to 4 tickets for $14 each. So spend $25, then you can go get you a great seat at Coors Field for four tickets for $14 each. So go by King Soopers, take advantage of that great offer.
They score that as sacrifice for Tulowitzki. Todd Helton at second, the tying run. Now, this game has not followed the script one would have thought it, especially from Halladay's perspective. Rockies nicked him for 2 in the first. 1 run was unearned in the first. Run off him in the second. They've got a run already here in the third. Smith comes through. Rockies could have another run in the third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball to Utley. That'll bring up Ian Stewart. Stewart doubled to the right field corner his first time. Overall average at 152, hitting just a little over 200 since coming back to the big leagues. And he takes a strike. Changeup. That was a double by Stewart.
Got an inside fastball, but it ran back to the middle of the plate. Got his hands out quick, read the pitch where it was, took advantage of it.
Peter in at 94. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talked to your old front today for a while, Gary Matthews.
Why did you let him in the booth again? I've told you more than once he needs to stay out of our booth.
He's a really nice guy. I like Sarge, George.
He's a great guy.
He's tremendous. Anyhow, I know he's a good friend of yours, and this ball is caught. How about that? Wilson Valdez. Where's Bartman when you need him?
He's in Florida. He's not allowed up in this area anymore.
I'll tell you the story when I come back. Great catch by Valdez. Jason Hamill, the first 2 were not efficient, but the third inning was very efficient. He got Ibanez on a fly ball to left. Carlos Ruiz would foul out to Todd Helton. And Wilson Valdez, ground ball to second. Brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. And Roy Halladay at the plate. Big swing and a miss. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Alana Rizzo from Coors Field this afternoon. Comparison of the two pitchers. Usually you see a lot of zeros next to Halladay. The Rockies scored 4 runs off of him on 4 hits. Continue that story that Sarge was telling us, George, on Roy Halladay. I said, who does he remind you of personality-wise, makeup-wise, from when you played? And he said from a concentration level, a focus level, he reminded him of Steve Carlton, who still makes his home down in Durango, one of the all-timers. There's a soft line drive that's going to drop for a base hit for Halladay. So he gets a knock in his homecoming. And he said he's not as mean as John Denny. Denny, George, you remember, he'd throw inside there, Sarge.
John was half crazy.
And he said, now Halladay will throw inside, but to get a strike. And he said he reminds me a lot of Tom Seaver, in that Seaver felt like he didn't have to knock you down or anything. He felt like his stuff was plenty good enough to get you out. And that's, he said, Roy Halladay.
Yep. And I would agree with everything he's saying. John Denny had a nasty hook, good fastball, but he always visited a lot of chin music when he was pitching. It was against Philadelphia in 1979, I think, or 80, and Denny was pitching. And he had a really good curveball. And he threw the ball hard, too. But he said, I'm going to go fastball changeup for 7 innings, work both sides of the plate. I said, you're not going to throw a curveball? I said, I'm not throwing a curveball all night. At the end of 7, it was 3-0 Cardinals. Never threw his breaking ball.
John Denny was a heck of a pitcher. And I mean, think of the 3 guys that Sarge rolled out there: Seaver, Carlton, and Denny. That'll win you a few games. Halladay has won quite a few. Ground ball toward the hole, and Ellis, what a play. What a play by Mark Ellis. And Jason Hamill got to the bag in front of Jimmy Rollins. 4-1 on the putout.
Now, normally this is never going to work if your pitcher doesn't break to the right side. You always break right side till called off. Ellis with a great play at second base, made a late stab. He got to the baseball and then threw a perfect strike to Jason Hamill to record the out at first base. Great play.
Mark Ellis has made only 2 errors all year. Both came when he was still competing for the A's. Perfect defensively for the Rockies. And not only the everyday play, he's made some special plays like the one you just saw. Shane Victorino with Halladay at second base and 1 out. Base hit and a run batted in the second inning for Victorino, the flying Hawaiian.
By the way, just throw this out there. Cy Young actually won 3 Cy Young awards now. Doug, that's why we haven't heard from him. He had 3 no-hitters. Excuse me, he had 3 no-hitters. You know, we had Doug, he said 1 and 1 in each league and all that, you know, so he got real quiet for like the last 25 minutes. Because you challenge him, he gets mad and he just starts digging.
I said 3.
So Cy Young had 3 no-hitters. Ryan, Nomo, Young, Bunning, and Johnson are the only other guys that had a no-no in each league.
By the way, Frazier, you had a Yogiism there, by the way.
What'd I say?
You said Cy Young won 3 Cy Young awards.
Yeah.
2-1 on Victorino. No swing.
So were the Arizona Diamondbacks too brought up their young first baseman Paul Goldschmidt, who was the California Player of the Year a year ago. Starting at first base the last couple of days, he's hit 286. It's all knotted right now through 3 in Arizona. Jason Marquis, 1 inning, 1 hit so far. Excuse me, 3 innings and only 1 hit given up for Arizona.
That's his debut. And a line drive caught by Ellis. They want to hit the ball somewhere else today. Two gone. Chase Utley coming up. AT&T trivia question: who are the 5 pitchers in history to have both a no-hitter and a Cy Young award? Let me correct that. It's actually who are the 5 pitchers in history, our question should read, to have won a Cy Young award and thrown a perfect game. Not just a no-hitter, but thrown a perfect game. See how quickly we can change that? Halladay at second, Utley at the plate, a walk, and he was hit by a pitch. Drops on the outside corner, 1-1 on the former UCLA star. Utley's one of those guys who has a deserved reputation for being a tireless worker. I mean, 365 days a year. This guy's in incredible shape. That is going to sneak through the right side. Halladay will get a stop sign from Juan Samuel.
6 hits now for the Phillies on the day, and this is some balls being hit to the right side hard. The soft line drive by Victorino, but then now this hard hit ball to right field. You see those hands stand. That's just such a pretty swing. Hands inside, back leg, everything in perfect position, hitting against the stiff front leg. God, he can hit.
And there's a phrase that hitting coaches use all the time: short to the baseball. He may be as short
as anybody in the game.
Yeah, from point A to point B, George, as anybody in the game.
I think that's why his swing looks weird to you. You know, because it's so short, but then the follow through is a little bit longer than you anticipate it to be. But there's a lot of bat speed and strength in that swing.
Ryan Howard with runners at first and third. Howard a 2-run double off the center field wall his last time up. Hamill got him his first time, struck him out on a breaking ball. Phillies 5, Rockies 4, top of 4. Rockies blanked last night 5-0. Colorado held to 4 hits. Already got 4 hits this afternoon against Roy Halladay.
How do you lay off of that? That's a very good pitch by Jason Hamill. 79-mile-an-hour curveball.
(3-0) on Howard. And on 4 pitches, Howard walks to load the bases for Hunter Pence. The next pitch for Hamill will be his 80th. You may have noticed on the Philadelphia Phillies uniform there's a B. That's to honor the late Jim Buck Jr., owner of the Philadelphia Phillies. Got that question yesterday. Wanted to pass that along. So Pence, who had a sac fly in the first and was caught looking at a fastball in the outside corner the second time up, has an opportunity with the bases loaded. Hamill will go out of the full windup. And sliders waved at. Good pitch. 4 walks and a hit batter now allowed by Hamill. Again, the Rockies don't have a quote-unquote long man available today because Edgemer Escalona threw 3 innings, threw 3 strong innings yesterday. He's not available. Two on Hunter Pence. Pence earlier this year had a 23-game hitting streak, career best. It's the 3rd longest streak in the National League this year. Another 0-2. And he got him. Ball kicked away. Throw to the plate. Safe at the plate. I thought they got him on the swing. Evidently not. And it's a wild pitch. 6-4 Philadelphia. Didn't you think he went?
Yeah, I thought he did too. We'll get a good look at it here right now. Big Roy Halladay extends at 6-4. Jason did a good job getting off the mound and getting to the home plate area. Let's look at the swing again. Well, I guess he didn't go at it. Yeah, that kind of reveals there he didn't. He started to, backed off, hit the heel of the glove, ran all the way over to the side. Halladay's coming hard. See, the ball's caught by Jason. He's straddling the home plate area. As a pitcher, he's out in a good area to get it, but the ball was behind him. If the ball's thrown out front, Halladay's out.
You know what? And they checked it out, and this a couple minutes later, they did check the swing with C.B. Buckner.
Yeah, but at that time,
there's no
to
way.
Make that call, too late, ain't going to happen.
No way. I see that again. I thought the tag was down before Halladay's foot touched the plate. And Pence hits it straight away. So on the wild pitch, Roy Halladay scores the 6th Philadelphia run. He's out. Jerry Meals missed another one. Apologize to Jerry Meals. We looked at that thing about 10 times during the break, and it was exceptionally close. We kind of did some fancy things with the videotape machines, and foot touching the corner as the tag's applied. So it was really close, and I think Jerry Meals got it right.
Yeah,
and I want to give Jerry a hard time. He had that rough call a week ago, the 19-inning game that happens.
He came out and admitted, though, it blew the call.
Yeah, they're trying hard to get it right, and they do about 99% of the time. You only talk about them when you get it wrong, but looked like the ball beat Roy Halladay, and the tag just up the leg a little bit too far. And the 6th run comes around for Philadelphia. Mark Ellis at the plate. He struck out his first time, and he's in a ditch.
Well, here's the other side of it for all of me, too. Okay, if you call for a breaking ball in the dirt with a runner on the 3rd, you better bury it. It better not get by you. I don't care what you do. As a catcher, and Alfonso, I felt like that time when he asked for a breaking ball down in the zone, you get the swing, then you got to bury that ball out in front. You don't let that ball get by you.
Two and two. Left center field, and it is going to drop. And now Mark Ellis thought about moving up. Will stop. Well, the drought's over for Mark. It snapped an 0 for 25 spell. AT&T trivia question. We gave you enough time to think about this one. Who are the 5 pitchers in big league history to have both a perfect game and a Cy Young award? The late catfish hunter David Cohn, who we just saw George in New York during your old timers game in the Bronx. The great Sandy Koufax, Randy Johnson, and Roy Halladay. Big swing and a miss from Eliezer Alfonso. He drove in a run his first time up with a single down the 3rd base line. With 20 perfect games, 12 in the American League, 8 in the National League. And that includes Don Larson's in the '56 World Series. Harvey Haddix, Pedro Martinez had one broken up in extra innings. Pedro had his broken up in the 10th inning. And of course, Armando Galarraga had what should have been a perfect game. And Ellis takes off, and this time Roy Halladay hears Ryan Howard yelling, "Step off, step off, step off."
Well, you know what? There still was hesitation, too. I mean, Roy is so locked into what he's doing at the home plate area that, you know, you wonder what's going on. But you're right. I mean, everybody, Howard and the whole infield screaming, "Step off the bag and make the throw." So he's standing on the rubber. See how far he is before he turned? He's halfway down. Snap throw, they're able to get him.
Caught stealing.
And what that is,
Alfonso's gone. 2 outs.
What that is for a base runner, Halladay comes set. 1001, 1002, he's going to the plate. 1001, 1002, going to the plate. So you get your lead and you sit there thinking 1001, 1002, boom, you go. Well, that time he held it to 3 and got you.
Hamill with 2 gone. Toyota Talk coming up in a couple of innings. Here's what we're going to do today. Text Toyota followed by a space, and then your comments on this subject. If you had one game to win of active starting pitchers in baseball, who would you send out there if you were the manager? You had your choice of any starting pitcher. If you want to throw in a reason why, you can. That's Toyota Talk in the 6th inning. Chip Tracy will join us in the bottom of the 4th inning, as he does on Wednesdays in home ball games. That'll be coming up, in fact, right after this. 6-4 Philadelphia. game, you'd have nicked Roy Halladay for 4 in the first 4 frames. I think you'd have a big, broad smile on your face.
No question, Drew. You know, I think we've done a great job with him. You know, we haven't done such a good job of keeping their offense in check. But I think we've done a terrific job. We've tried to be as aggressive as we possibly can, simply from the fact that if you allow this guy, as you well know, to get into a rocking chair, he's just going to start mowing you down. So we're trying to give him some additional things to think about.
All right, Trace, as always, good luck the rest of the way.
All right, Drew, thanks.
It'll be Raul Ibanez leading off against Jason Hamill in the top of the 5th inning. Ibanez 0 for 2. Carlos Ruiz and Wilson Valdez. There's the inconsistent line of Jason Hamill that his manager was referring to. Roy Halladay has given up 4. You get 4 off Roy Halladay in 9 innings. You're hopeful that you're going to end up on the right side of things.
I think you got a pretty good chance for a W, don't you?
This pitch number 85 for Jason Hamill, the big right-hander, 6'7", from the Pacific Northwest, who makes his home now in Providence, Rhode Island. Works out with Chris Iannetta in the offseason. Drive, base hit. There's traffic again for Philadelphia. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Carlos Ruiz will step up, 1 for 2. Mentioned this last night while Ruiz was watching, and if you ask people outside of Philadelphia, and maybe even inside of Philadelphia, that are not super hardcore Philly fans, and there aren't many of those to find, but you said, who led the Phillies in batting average last year? Who was their leading hitter? I mean, somebody'd say Utley, Rollins, you know, Ryan Howard, Victorino, right? Who would say Carlos Ruiz?
Not many. I can tell you that right now, because he doesn't have the speed of any of those other guys you're talking about, so it's not he doesn't get many leg hits.
He hit .302 last year. That was the best average among the Philadelphia regulars. That's a strike, 1-2. Talking to a baseball executive the last few days, George, about the top catchers in the game. There's always a search for good two-way catchers. We've discussed that many a night here. But Carlos Ruiz has got to be in the top half dozen now in baseball.
Well, you can become a lot better catcher when all of a sudden you get to catch the guys you catch. Makes your job a lot easier when you're sitting behind home plate. You put a lot more focus on the job of actually catching.
.463 on the turn. That'll bring up Valdez. Yeah, there's a lot of catchers who would love to catch Halladay, then Lee, then Hamels. Oswald will be back this weekend for the Giants series. Fly ball to deep right field. Smith is going to have to play it off the wall, and now it kicks back toward the infield. Valdez can run. He's heading to third. Samuel will stop him there, and he actually rounded third before the ball got back to the infield. Dexter Fowler came all the way over to help out.
High fastball. Look at it, though, when he hits it, he's just kind of jogging up the line. And once he realizes this ball's off of the wall, he really turns it up. Here's the ball as it takes off. See, he's not really going hard there. If he goes hard there, he's got a chance for an inside the park home run. And then once it hit off of the wall, Seth Smith chased it down and then made the strong throw in.
Well, there's always somewhere to go on the field. You just don't want to be a spectator as Halladay fouls this off. And Dexter realizes, he's watching Smith go back, if he's not going to have a play, he knows if it hits that metal part, it's going to kick back to the infield. Mark Ellis hasn't played a ton of games here. We've seen second baseman George fly out to try to help out. But Dexter looked like he was running 100 meters to get in the neighborhood. 2-strike count on Halladay.
See, Dexter's going to come in on the run. Here he's come sprinting, so sprints over to get to the baseball. Grabs it and then makes that throw into Mark Ellis. I thought Smitty had gotten a hold of it. I started to watch Valdez. Doesn't matter. He's out, going to the next inning.
4 strikeouts in the ball game for Hamill. 6-4 Phils. Top of the order. Philadelphia with 8 hits, the Rockies with 5. Eric Young is 1 for 2. Beautiful afternoon at Coors Field. Rockies trying to knock off Roy Halladay in his second ever start at Coors Field. Ball missed, so it's 1-0. Junior's been able to utilize his legs of late. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. 4 steals in his last 5 games. Curveball. 2-2. Halladay, despite giving up the 4 runs, is right on line in terms of pitch count. That's a foul ball. Unfortunately for the Rockies. Here's the 2-2. Rex Brothers, who typically of late seen in the 8th inning, getting loose here as the Rockies bat in the bottom of the 5th, outside 3-2.
Keeping everything as close as they could possibly keep it. Where are they in their lineup? They're with the left-handers getting ready to come up. Some switch hitters also with the weaker side of that. So Rex Brothers, who didn't work in last night's ball game, they worked in the opening game, gave up a home run to lose it in extra inning. Halladay, even though he's given up to 4 runs, he's done it on 5 hits. Pitch count fairly low. This 70th pitch being thrown by him, and it's a strike 3 on the outside corner.
Borderline pitch. If you're a future Hall of Famer, you get it. 1 out. Check in with Alana Rizzo. She's got today's Fast Cash Sideline Report. It's brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Center. We'll always get 40% more for your gold. Alana?
All right, guys, thanks very much. Since returning to the Bigs on July 15th, Dexter Fowler has reached base safely 17 of the 18 games that he has played, and he really attributes that to the new leg lift that he's been working with at the plate that we've been talking about so much recently. I asked him earlier today, as he hits that one off the wall, that'll easily be a double for Dexter, possibly a triple as he's going for it, guys. Very few people can do it. Dex is in safely for a triple. That works perfectly with what I'm saying. That's fantastic. I asked him what a difference the leg lift has made, especially since he's had success with it so quickly when he implemented it. He said it made all the difference in the world. I've always had confidence from both sides of the plate, but to be able to get results from the left side has really helped him be able to implement that. You guys know that hitters really get into ruts, and they have sometimes a difficult time making adjustments to their swings or to their stance. It's really helped him. He said the most difficult thing is when the pitcher is in the stretch, being able to know when to lift that leg. It's worked from him. Dexter has a triple, guys. Go ahead.
Well, Todd's going to pick up a second RBI in this ball game. Dexter had the double, base hit scored. Now he has the triple score. The other night he hit a ball off 347 down the left field line on the fly, opposite field. So good results to the other side of the ballpark for Dexter.
That's why his ability to produce triples is so huge. For virtually everybody else, to left field off the wall, George, is a double. He turned it into a triple, and because Helton moves the ball on the right side, you get a run as opposed to 2 outs and a runner at third.
Well, the big thing about it is his speed tells him in his mind, I can turn them into triples. That's the key to it. Some guys hit that ball off the wall, they come up short and just jog into second base knowing they have a double. Dexter thinking 3 the entire time.
His 10th of the year.
That's a bunch.
1-0 on Tulowitzki, and he fouls it off. Helton with 56 runs batted in now. Six-5 ball game. 1-2. Giants have scored 3 times in the third against Jason Marquis. They're up 3-0. Again, if you missed it, Arizona beat the Giants again yesterday. Won the first 2 games of that series. It's a dead heat right now in the National League West. Arizona and the Giants atop. And because Atlanta's come back to the pack, as Tulowitzki goes down, only a 1.5 game separation between the Braves and the Giants and Diamondbacks in the wild card. Dexter scores 6-5 game. Express Toll celebrating 20 years of excellence. The Nationals will be in for 4 ball games tomorrow night, Friday night. Pregame show rolls at 6, 5:30 on Saturday here on Root Sports, and then Sunday afternoon we get the afternoon commenced at 12:30. Then it's off to Cincinnati. The Reds on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Well, the Rockies go to their bullpen. They're going to bring in Rex Brothers, 27th appearance for Rex. 3.74 ERA. He's going to have to come in here and try to eat some innings up, get him a couple of them. I'd like to see only one because he's due up pretty quickly in the next inning. If the Rockies could get something going against Roy Halladay, he'll get his shot at the top of the lineup, Rex will, of the Philadelphia Phillies.
So Hamill, a rough start. He gives up 6 runs in 5 innings on 8 hits. He walked 4 and hit a batter. He did strike out 4. Rockies for the second time this year, 8 games beneath 500. That's on the corner to Rollins. And it's our Toyota Talk inning. Since the All-Star break, we mentioned the Rockies have been running more. And today we asked, which active pitcher would you have on the hill if you were a manager and you had the choice of anybody in baseball to start the 7th game of the World Series, let's say. CC Sabathia would be a pretty good pick. Cliff Lee. Roy Halladay hands down. More often than not, you won't even need a bullpen. He pitched the 9 innings by himself. That's Kevin up in Idaho. Can't go wrong with CC Sabathia. And Brothers strikes out. Jimmy Rollins, 1 gone. I was waiting for a Justin Verlander selection. Bring up Shane Victorino.
Victorino got Brothers on Friday night on a high fastball out over the plate. Behind in the count when he hit it out. Behind here, 1-0.
One ball, 1 strike on Victorino. He hit the home run against Brothers in the 10th inning. The difference on Monday night.
Well, the difference here has been Rex Brothers' ability to work ahead in the count and snap that slider off today at Coors Field. After that swing, I'd give him 3 more shots at it to see if he could hit it.
Well, he hit a fastball on a 3-2 pitch on Monday night. And George, he got the slider. He didn't like it much, though.
Well, the difference is just believing it, throwing it, and throwing it enough you get the punch outs, and that's exactly what he ends up doing with it. And why not? He didn't look very good on the last one. Doesn't look any better on this one.
Chase Utley with 2 gone on punch outs. Utley, a walk. He was hit by a pitch, and he has a base hit.
Well, Edwin Jackson made a second start for the St. Louis Cardinals. He was acquired in a trade, and today was not much fun. 7 innings, 14 hits, 10 runs, 8 earned runs against Milwaukee. Woo. Milwaukee leads the game 10-5. San Francisco is on top of Arizona 4-0 now.
Everybody in South Mills, North Carolina said since it's a fictional game, I'll take Sid Finch. Touche. Sid Finch was awfully good, George.
Was he?
Unhittable. Line drive, base hit right center field for Utley. He's 2 for 2. And that'll bring up Ryan Howard. Optimus Prime.
Well, you brought out all that Galactica stuff and everything. What was that you brought out? Yeah.
So the game's on Mars.
Yeah, that one.
Lincecum with Mariano Rivera lurking in the pen.
Not a bad choice either.
Lincecum got beat yesterday. Say the consensus has been Verlander and Sabathia. I actually thought, especially being that Roy Halladay is from the state of Colorado, there'd be even more votes for Halladay. He's gotten quite a few. Baldo's gotten a couple of mentions. First for Jared Weaver. I asked Troy Tulowitzki about Weaver, and of course they went to school together at Long Beach. Jared Weaver's tough. Fly ball deep center field, and this one's going to leave the yard.
Two right-handed hitters. He punched them out on sliders. Two lefties, a line drive up the middle, and Ryan Howard, third home run of the series.
Two extraordinary left-handed hitters who hit lefties. Utley, a single. Ryan Howard, a long home run to center, his third in the last 2 days. And the Phillies expand their lead to 8-5. Home run number 24 for Howard.
And extending that RBI lead as he has. I mean, this is a bad pitch and a guy that just does not get intimidated by hard-throwing left-handers. And Ryan Howard got something that he liked up into the zone and sent it out over the head of Dexter Fowler and well into the seats in center field.
One on Hunter Pence.
Look at all the runs they were able to score in this ball game with 2 outs. They scored 4 in the second with 2 outs. Here they were 2 quick outs. In the 6th they scored 2. In the 4th they had 1 run with 2 outs. Five, 7 of the runs they've scored in this ball game have all come with when the Rockies had 2 outs. Finished the innings off.
8 runs, 10 hits for Philadelphia. They have 2 errors, both on Howard on the same play. And a base hit as that one was left up. I've seen a lot of good from Rex Brothers. His last 3 outings have been a little rough. Part of the process. You trying to knock Dougie over back here?
I didn't know he was back there. What are you doing back there? Eating peanuts? Eating peanuts.
Matt Belisle's up in the Rockies bullpen. Raul Ibanez at the plate. Bob Apodaca meeting with Rex Brothers. 2 strikeouts of Rollins and Victorino, then the Utley single, the Howard blast, and Penn single to follow.
By the way, if you haven't got tickets for the weekend series with the Nationals, it starts Thursday, so go out and get your tickets and head out onto the ballpark. Sam, you working Thursday? Sam's getting ready to have surgery on his left shoulder. Right shoulder. Well, the doc thinks it's a left one, so they'll get it fixed together.
Put a big X on it before you go in there, Sam.
That's what I did one time. I go, not this knee, this knee. And I had arrows pointing around. Make sure you get the right one.
Your knees, they probably might as well have done both of them.
They have. A lot.
Same time.
Thought I was at med school as an experiment.
Did they do a lobotomy that day also?
No. They let that pass. They knew better. They don't want to look in there and see what they're going to find.
Nah. You'd be a candidate, though. 0-1.
It's kind of like Stanford. There wasn't any openings.
On the ground of Mark Ellis. He'll throw out Ibanez in the inning. There were 3 hits. A 2-run home run by Ryan Howard extends Philadelphia's lead. Every time the Rockies get close, Philadelphia responds. Back. A whole lot of runs in this ball game, 13 of them. Well, the Phillies scored a run in the first. Rockies would get some help in scoring 2 in the second. A couple errors on that one play by Ryan Howard. And then Philadelphia would counter. The little guys at work. Jimmy Rollins, Shane Victorino, and then the big man. Ryan Howard drove in 2 with that base hit. In the 5th inning, another RBI, just a ground out after a triple by Dexter Fowler. Todd's got a couple RBIs, and then Howard moments ago adding to his RBI total for the day and the year. 2 more on that 2-run blast. He's now got 24 home runs as Seth Smith swings and misses. Howard 24 home runs, 87 driven in. He's the National League leader in ribbies. Two-strike count. Missed 1 pitch. 1-2 now on Smith. Smith a fly ball to center and a ground ball to second. Halliday's allowed 5 runs on 6 hits. 4 of the runs are earned. Here's something interesting about Roy Halladay, and there's a lot of interesting things about him when you break down his career. A line drive that had dropped in front of Hunter Pence, base hit. George, this guy has had an unbelievable career, as we all know so far. But if you look at some of his numbers. His 8.43 strikeouts per 9 this year, a career high. His whip, that's walks plus hits per innings pitched, of 1.05 is a career low. In other words, the best he's ever had. The home runs he's allowed per 9 innings is at a career low. His strikeout to walk ratio is 8-to-1, which is also the best of his career. In other words, looking inside the numbers, Roy Halladay, more than 2/3 of the way through the 2011 season, statistically maybe having his best year at 34.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and most guys sign big contracts like this. They'll have that one good first year, second year, third year, and then all of a sudden you get something like this. Strikeout to walk leaders in the National League right now. Roy Halladay's there. Everywhere.
Yeah, that's in Major League Baseball.
Japan, Major League Baseball, that's everywhere.
High drive, deep right field, twisting foul. As Ian Stewart really had his first home run of the year. You know, Halladay is conjuring up images of what Cliff Lee did a couple of years ago in terms of strikeout to walk ratio. Kurt Schilling, that misses. This is single season since 1900 strikeout to walk ratio. Brett Saberhagen in 94, 143 punchouts, 13 walks. Cliff Lee last year, 185 and 18. And Schilling, the big year in 02, George, he struck out 316, which is a ridiculous amount.
Stupid amount.
Stupid amount. Thank you. And just 33 walks, which is silly. But that's what this guy does. He strikes you out, and you walk about, you know, once every 3 starts against him. Chopper to second. 4-6-3 on the double play. And that'll bring up Mark Ellis. Take a look at our CenturyLink high-speed pitch this afternoon. Halladay is topped out at 94. Jason Hamill, who's now departed, at 96. Mark Ellis broke out of an 0 for 25 slide his last time up with a single to left center field. Ellis has faced Roy Halladay more than anybody else in the Rockies lineup. The only guy who's seen him more, not in the starting lineup, is Ty Wigginton. Couple of starts ago that Halladay got heat stroke at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. Could only go 4 innings. Obviously there was a lot of concern in Philadelphia. The only guy who seemingly wasn't concerned was Roy Halladay. Went out, beat the Padres, went 8 innings in his next start, gave up just 2 earned runs. Then his last outing against the Pirates, he goes 7 innings of shutout baseball, and he allowed him 1 hit.
Well, it's like today. I mean, it's 5 runs, 7 hits. He's labored through this ball game, but you would never know it by his expressions on his face. That's one of the other things that makes him special. Well, 5 runs did. It raised his earned run average right now to this point from 244 to 257. Pretty good.
3-2 on Ellis with 2 outs. Rockies trailing 8-5. And Old Country Heat throws it by Mark Ellis. Smith had a hit, but it turns into a 1-2-3 inning. For the Coors Light freeze camp on a wild pitch, Roy Halladay scores just in front of the tag by Jason Hamill, and it was microscopically close. Coors Light freeze camp, Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Double switch. Chris Nelson's in the ballgame for Mark Ellis. Matt Belisle is on the hill for the Rockies here in the top of the 7th.
Well, the right-hander comes into the ballgame making his 50th appearance on the season. Last year a workhorse, turning out to be another one here for the Rockies with 47 innings pitched so far. Matt will come on and take on Ruiz, who will be the first man he faces, and Valdez, and see if Halladay comes back out. Nobody in their bullpen. Pitch counts down. He's gone 6 innings so far.
Ruiz a single and a run scored in the 2nd.
Well, the first 10,000 adults, I got to remind you, it's only for adults only, 21 and older. On August 6th, will receive a Rockies baseball cap courtesy of Coors Light. That is on August the 6th. The ground ball to Stewart. First, they'll get Ruiz.
So take care of the big kids.
Yeah, the big kids. There's cap day the other day for kids. Now it's this, you know. It's the way it ought to be.
Ruiz retired. Wilson Valdez will come up. Valdez a triple his last time. Brothers an inning of work, 2 runs, 3 hits. No walks, punched out 2. And the Nationals are en route. They lost at home today to Atlanta 6-4. Atlanta jumped on a quick 6-0 and held on. All this winning that the Phils have done, they've opened up a sizable lead in the National League East. They were up 8 beginning play today. Atlanta, with the win, snapped a 3-game losing streak. The Phils again have won 5 in a row. And another hit for Valdez. Roy Halladay coming up for the 4th time today. If you have any sort of windshield problems, we tell you every night, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com. Today we're telling you in the afternoon. So if you have an issue after the ball game, you'll get it taken care of. See how that works, George?
That's the whole way. Got it done.
$2-0 on Halladay, who's tied for 2nd in the National League in sack bunts. That's not a big surprise for me because he pitches more innings than anybody. Pitches deep in games. He gets probably 1 more at bat than most starting pitchers do each time out. Levon Hernandez is leading everybody with Washington with 13. Halladay's got 11, along with Bud Norris, Jordan Zimmerman. 1 out, 2-1 count. Runner going, throw by Alfonso to second is right on the bag. I wonder if Tulowitzki got that glove hand spiked by Wilson Valdez.
Second best thing a pitcher can have behind the double play ball is a catcher with a strong arm when a guy goes right on the money. But you're right, came right into that thumb area, and there wasn't any room for give there because the bag was right behind it. He came in kind of high and caught him on that thumb.
2-2 on Halladay. And that's strike 3. So Belial will get the Rockies to the dugout. Stretch time at Coors Field. Rockies trailing the Phillies by 3. Frazier and Alana Rizzo. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies have nicked Roy Halladay for 5 runs in this ballgame, 4 earned. Unfortunately, they have not been able to hold off the very potent offense of the Philadelphia Phillies. Philadelphia won 5-0 yesterday. Their league-leading 14th shutout of the year, and they won 4-3 in extra innings on Monday. Eliezer Alfonso in the 7th inning. Chris Nelson in the double switch on deck, and then Eric Young Jr. Down the line, foul. Boy, the Rockies miss Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, you just missed the threat in the bat in the lineup, and how you can pitch around and maneuver, not have to throw to this guy. And this makes all the difference in the world when you're going.
Hard base hit to right. Alfonso's showing, George, he can swing the bat a little bit. The grand slam in San Diego had a 5 RBI ball game that day. Colorado natives, Roy Halladay, Chase Headley, he's having a good year for the Padres. Luke Hochevar, first pick in the draft. Darnell McDonald.
Where's Paulie from?
Longmont, see? A lot of guys that went to high school in Colorado but maybe weren't born.
Tommy Ronalds, another guy coaching as a bench coach. Greeley.
TR native.
Makes his home in Toledo, Ohio now.
0-2 on Nelson. And a ground ball to third. There's one on the first. They got it. Around the horn. That's the other thing about Philadelphia. They are very, very good defensively.
Let's go back to 1974. Who's this guy? Where is he? Circling. Do something. There he is. Tommy Ronalds. How about that?
Yes. I was going to answer your question. You asked me who this guy is. I was going to tell you all the guys there.
Well, tell me all of them right now. Go ahead.
Well, that's Jimmy Jones on the left. Fred Smith.
That looks like Freddie Lynn on the right.
Don't think so. I think he went to SC. 2 outs, nobody on. Eric Young Jr. at the plate. Many people forget Tommy Ronald's a manager at the Montreal Expos. Tommy was in his early 30s at the time.
Yeah, I never really understood why he never got another chance either, because as a minor league manager, he's won 877 games, done a nice job. Kind of like Marv Foley. Marv Foley's won over 1,200 games at the minor league level managing.
2-1 on Ewok. Two and two. Runnels went 51 and 61 in '91, taking over in Montreal. And the next year started 17 and 20 when he was dismissed. Two on the outside corner, and Eric Young Jr. for the second time today thought that pitch was away. We go to the 8th, 8-5 Phils. Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Phil's got a run in the first. The Rockies countered with 2 in the first. Unfortunately, the Phil's got 4 in the second. It was kind of a ping-pong match there for a while, but Roy Halladay has settled in. And the Rockies find themselves down 8-5. First pitch swinging for Jimmy Rollins, a flare to short against Matt Belisle. 1 out as we again visit with Alana Rizzo.
All right, guys, thanks very much. The Rockies are unfortunately threatening to fall 9 games below 500 if they in fact lose this game today. And the one constant so far this season, guys, has been the inconsistency that has happened throughout every facet of the game. I was talking to Mark Ellis earlier today, who is now out of the ball game, about all the difficulties that have happened with this team, and they're really trying to do everything to change things around. You find often that players try to change things, maybe put their shoes on a different way or change a different type of music. Well, coaches and managers are doing the same thing, and now the Rockies haven't been able to listen to music before games in the clubhouse, really just anything to try to change things up. But when speaking to Mark Ellis about these little things, he said the only thing that is going to turn the tide, honestly, as you guys both know, is winning. Sometimes the small things can happen and make a difference, but honestly, until this team starts making things happen on the field and getting wins, it doesn't matter if you have music, if you don't have music, if you're allowed to use your iPod, if you're not, they have to win in order to change the culture, guys.
Winning is a terrific bit of medicine. You know, things are bad. You can point to a lot of different things, but if you win, everybody starts feeling good, and you forget about all the things that were negative. 1-2 on Victorino.
It's got a big series coming up. I just sitting there looking at schedules, kind of messing around and where you make up ground, you maybe lose ground. But the Phillies and Giants play this weekend, 4-game set. Lee, Worley, Hamels, and Lincecum are going to go. They haven't announced who will start Sunday, whether it be Oswald or not. The Arizona Diamondbacks are off Thursday. Then they play the Dodgers at home for 2, then Houston for 4. And the Mets come to town. And just watching all of this, another little soft line drive right to Tulowitzki. They're out number 2. Is that a matchup everybody would think about this weekend? The Giants and Phillies, is that the matchup of the National League for the National League Championship to go to the World Series? A lot of the national media people think so.
Chase Utley striding to the plate. A walk, hit by a pitch, a run scored in the second, a single in the fourth, a single, and a run scored in the 6th inning. And Ryan Howard hit a home run behind him off Rex Brothers. Rockies are staring at their 4th straight loss. In the first 2, George, the Rockies got great pitching performances. First from Juan Nicasio and then from Jolie Chacin against these Phils on Monday. In fact, talking to some of the Phillies, they were really impressed with Chacin's stuff.
It should have been 7 great innings of baseball. He's losing 3-1. That's the thing about it. He had really stopped the Philly offense for those 7 innings.
One and one on Utley.
Hey, if you're one of the first 10,000 to the yard on August the 16th, you're going to receive a Hebrew National $1 hot dog night at the ballpark. It's a coupon, very popular here at Coors Field. First 10,000 fans will get one.
On the ground left side, Stewart stabs it, throws to help. 1-2-3 inning in the 8th for Belisle. 8-5, Fowler to lead it off. fifth inning, Dexter Fowler driving the ball again to left field with authority. He did that yesterday for a double. This time it's off the wall for a triple. His 10th of the year. For Coors Light Cold Hard Glass. Dexter trailing just Jose Reyes and Shane Victorino in triples in the National League. Reyes has 16, Victorino 12. New pitchers Antonio Bastardo, 7 innings for Roy Halladay, and he calls it a day. He goes to the showers, having given up 5 runs, 4 earned, 8 hits, walked 1, struck out 7.
Bastardo got the win the other night, Monday night. This makes his 46th appearance here for him. 41 2/3, just 16 hits given up. Very difficult to put the lumber to the baseball against Bastardo, obviously. 75% of would-be first base batters retired. They're dragging the bats back to the dugout. All good numbers.
One of the few bright spots of late, George, for the Rockies has been the improved play of Dexter Fowler. Dexter reached on an error in the first inning and scored. He walked in the third and scored, and he tripled in the fifth, as we just showed you, and scored. He has 6 multi-hit games in his last 9 coming in, including 3 3-hit ball games. Hitting .400 over his last 11. And he's getting on base at about a .460 clip the last 2 weeks.
All good so far. Just carry it over. Just try to make it a very solid season for you. You've jumped your average as far as Dexter has to .265 compared to where it was at .230, struggling to even get in the lineup, let alone get on base swinging the bat. That is one of those you don't want anything to do with, and if you're a fan, you don't want anything to do with it. Hit right in the middle of the scout section. I'm hooting on those guys.
Catch it on the second hop, right? Ball and a strike on Fowler. Fastball cut inside at 91. 2-1. Tomorrow in San Francisco, Cliff Lee against Madison Bumgarner. The Rockies here against the Nationals will have Esmil Rogers filling the spot of Ubaldo Jimenez. He'll go against Ross Detweiler. This is in the air, well hit to left center field, but Victorino will get over there and make the play. This week, Rockies All Access will go back in time to a great collection of sluggers. The Blake Street Bombers. Find out what they're up to now. You'll hear from Dante Bichette, Larry Walker, Vinny Castilla. It's Rockies All Access, and it premieres tomorrow at 5, right before the Rockies pregame show against the Nationals. Todd Helton, an RBI base hit in the third, an RBI ground out in the fifth. 1 for 3. He's driven in a pair. Takes a strike from Bastardo. Todd's at .294 against lefties this year, .313 against righties. Had a big July, drove in 20 runs, tied for the club lead with Tulowitzki. That was a cut with a little dip on the backside, George.
Yeah, once again, you know, Todd trying to leave the yard. He's had a couple of RBIs today, one on a base hit, one on a ground ball to second base with Dexter after hitting that triple. Todd, a very solid year again. 56 RBIs, 11 home runs. His average in the top 10. 307 as he enters this at bat here in the 8th.
There's the splits we were alluding to. 1-2. 2-2. Todd with the RBIs today, now tied with Albert Pujols. They're tied for 106th on the all-time ribbies list with 1295. And when Todd hits 1305 or 10 more, It'll put him among the top 100. There's that phrase coming up again, George. All time.
All time. History of.
2-2. In the air, left field. Ibanez going back, still going back. Not going to catch it. It's gone. That thing just kept carrying and carrying. And Helton has his 12th home run of the year. His 4th left on left. It's an 8-6 ball game.
I know after the year he had a year ago, everybody from Dan O'Dowd on down had hoped that Todd Helton would stay healthy enough just to get you 65, 75 RBIs, and that would be a great year for Todd Helton. He's now sitting at 57 with 12 home runs. Production has been very good for Todd Helton. A 2-hit day and 3 RBI day for Todd.
Tulowitzki at the plate in a 2-run game. Strike 1. Forget what I said a moment ago, George, about the 10 RBIs. He just needs 9 now.
Yeah.
That is also his 345th career big fly.
Well, the Rockies got to look at this. It's an 8-6 ball game. I mean, you're right back in the middle of this thing. You're going to get Matson's going to pitch the 9th inning.
Got 5 outs to work with. And a line shot, base hit toward the gap. Cut off by Victorino. He'll hold Tulowitzki to a single. And now the tying run will come up and Seth Smith. Charlie Manuel quoted in the Philadelphia papers the other day, and he knows this area well. He's in the Colorado Springs Hall of Fame after managing down there for 3 years. He said a 3-run lead for me at Coors Field, I still treat it like a 1-run lead.
You have to. Ball's still going to fly out. Rich Doobie's going to make a trip out to the mound. The bullpen's going to get busy down there. What's that say on your forehead? Quit moving. Still can't read it. Go ahead. Something about Tulo's 1 for 8.
Yep, that base hit there, Troy's first of the series. David Herndon, saw him last night. Mick Billmeyer, the bullpen coach, looking on. We'd have a better look at the conversation there, George, if Ryan Howard would move. He takes up a lot of room in that shot.
I just don't like it when they put their arm around the umpires and paddle. Then he paint one on the black and he goes, ball. And you're like, okay, now you two were out there hugging and talking on the mound before I came out. That ain't right. He and Jerry Mills was having a conversation on the mound.
Well, you're hoping after buttering him up that the one on the black yells strike, right?
Well, if you're pitching, but it was Ryan Howard was doing the one with the arm around him.
One on Smith. He already has a home run in this series against a lefty. Tagged Cole Hamels 2 days ago. 2-run shot. Well located. It's 0-2. Smith has done some damage against the Phils. 7 for 16 this year.
Now the right-hander Herndon's up down there. I mean, if he gets out Seth Smith here, and it's not a double play that ends the inning. I think Jim Tracy would go to Ty Wigginton, and then you would see the right-hander come face him.
This kicks away, and Tulowitzki's in scoring position with 1 out. Footnote to the home run by Helton. It's the first home run allowed by Bastardo since May the 25th. homers for Smith against the Phils. Oh, wow. He's punched out by Dale Scott. I'll have to watch it again.
But he asked quickly. Jerry Mills did. I thought, you know, naked eye, he held up. Let's take a look right here and tell you. Here's the line we're talking about. If that's what they're looking at. If they see the bat clear out around there, I didn't think he went. Yeah, well, that look tells me he did. See the barrel of the bat come all the way around to the front of it. Seth's showing a little emotion, too. You don't see that often. He threw his hands up in the air. Ian Stewart will get to face the left-handed throwing Bastardo.
That's because Wigginton is on deck in the pitcher spot.
I thought maybe right there for a straight-up switch, you go Wigginton here, and then Spielborg's in the on-deck circle.
And you loaded up on the bench with righties. You know, sometimes you can't just wait around to the ninth inning, obviously, to use your bench. Tulowitzki with 2 outs at second base. Stewart being given an opportunity left on left. Here's the 2-0. 2-1. Another slider. It evens the count at 2-2. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. 8-6 Philadelphia. Both teams double digits in hits. 10 for the Rockies, a dozen for the Phils. Three and 2. Bastardo strikes out Stewart with Tulowitzki at second base. Rockies got a run back on the 12th home run of the season from Todd Helton. 8-6 our scores. We go to the ninth. Rockies 6. Let's see what Tom Helmer's up to. Tom?
Drew, we're going to talk Roy's story. Roy Halladay, not his best outing ever against the Rockies, but right now it's put him in line for the victory. We'll break down his performance. Also, 2 out of 3 is bad. 7 of the 8 runs the Phillies have scored this afternoon have come with 2 outs. We'll also get you down into the clubhouse and hear from manager Jim Tracy. It's all coming up on the Toyota Postgame Show. Drew?
All right, Tom. Much appreciated. Ryan Howard is going to hit here against Matt Belisle. And Matt's done a good job, George, but looks like he's going to pitch 3 innings.
Typically,
means he'll be down tomorrow.
Yeah, and short amount of pitches thrown, just 23 so far. I hope you don't jinx it, George. 17 pitches for strikes, 6 for balls. He's had very quick innings. Hopefully that continues.
Rocky's got just 5 innings out of Jason Hamill, who gave up 6 runs on 8 hits. Just 4 innings yesterday. Aaron Cook had to depart with a stiff neck. Aaron's fine. No residual effects this morning, and he'll make his next start. Carlos Gonzalez will play in Colorado Springs tonight. It's an easy play for Todd. Howard retired. He'll play a full game tomorrow and a full game Friday. He'll play 7 innings today. And then if all goes well, he'll play for the big club on Saturday against the Nationals. Hunter Pence 1 for 3 and a sac fly.
Follow the Rockies on MLB.com at Bat11 app, featuring highlights and a whole lot more. All you got to do is text @BAT to 31826.
Ball and a strike on Pence. Giants responding today. They're up 8-0 in the 7th inning against Arizona after losing the first couple of ball games against the D-backs. Milwaukee won that ball game with St. Louis, George, 10-5. They had their winning streak snapped last night in extra innings. Apparently they're starting another one. Foul ball. Strike 3. That's the second time today that Hunter Pence caught looking at a fastball on the outer third. Good pitch by Matt Belisle.
Yeah, great pitch by Belisle. That's again where he has had that ability to paint that fastball down and away to the outside. Good target given by Alonso. Way down on that one knee to make sure the pitch stays low and down in the zone for Belisle.
Ibanez is 1 for 4. Strike 1 on Raul. Rockies in the bottom of the 9th will have a pinch hitter, then Alfonso and Nelson scheduled against Ryan Madsen. Good heater. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 to Ibanez. Breaking ball, and that will stay fair. Todd will run to the bag. Good inning again for Matt Belisle, who retires the last 7 he faces. And the Rockies will go to the bottom of the 9th, down by 2 against Philadelphia. Back in a moment. Pitch. Cherry Creek's own is on the hill, not Ryan Madsen, to close this out. Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. Brad Lidge spent the first half of the season on the disabled list. Had a chance to talk to him yesterday about several topics, one coming back home.
Obviously, my family and friends are here, but there's something about the ballpark and growing up watching games here. Even though they came a little late when I was in high school, but still, it was the first team I'd ever really been able to go to and can call my home team. So it is always fun to get to the games here and to see everybody.
Brad Lidge closes this out. It would be his first save of the year. It's just his 5th appearance since returning from the disabled list with shoulder issues earlier in the season.
Well, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. The walks have always been a big thing for him. You don't get a lot of hits on him. It's just basically a couple of walks and then a big bang. And Spielberg's going to get the opportunity here to lead it off with the Rockies down 2. He had the right-handed hitting Alfonso behind him.
Outside, ball 1 on Spielberg.
Great work by Belisle. 3 innings to 1 hit, a couple of strikeouts, another good effort. 3-inning effort out of the bullpen yesterday. Escalona was the guy.
Lidge works that slider almost as much as he works the fastball.
It used to be a lot more fastballs when he could run it up 95, 97 miles an hour with his fastball. He'd show you one, and then it was just kind of all slider haven. That fastball 89 miles an hour.
No.
And, lately it's been Madsen, Bastardo, and Contreras, and they've been pretty good, 32 of 35.
And Contreras is hurt right now. He's got an elbow issue, and Charlie Manuel said the other day it's not getting better. 2-2. And the sliders hit on the ground to short. With 1 out, Alfonso will come up. Brad Lidge trying to save the ball game for Roy Halladay. Rocked horns in a state championship game back in 1995. Alfonso's 2 for 3 today. A couple of singles. Drove in a run with his first hit back in the second inning. Lidge 9 career saves against his hometown team. He still makes his home down in Castle Rock.
You can tell that arm injury, arm strength, maybe not back to 100%, showing a fastball 89-90. His slider's been 80 to 83 miles an hour in this ball game, where it had been 85 to 89, almost unhittable. So that's something you look for. You know, it becomes very important about his positioning of the pitch. That ball really dove. That was a hard slider down, but it was 82, but it was late breaking. Strikeout, 2 outs here in the ninth for Mr. Lidge.
Roy Halladay's line, 7 innings, 5 runs, 4 earned, 8 hits, walked 1, struck out 7. He's in line for his 14th win. Bastardo gave up a run, struck out 2. And now Lidge with 2 outs and nobody on in the ninth. The strikeout of Alfonso. So the Rockies have fanned 10 times today. And Chris Nelson trying to reach, give Eric Young an AB. Nelson came into the ball game in a double switch 2 innings ago. It's his second at bat. He grounded into a 5-4-3 double play in the 7th. Brad's still getting that arm strength back. Here's the 2-0, and Nelson out in front of a slider. It's 2-1. Two and 2. The last time the Phillies swept the Rockies at Coors Field, the only time they've swept them in a 3-game series at Coors Field, was back in May of 1999. And a ground ball to Jimmy Rollins. It's been all Philadelphia in this series. They win at 8-6. Lidge earns his first save of the year in his hometown, and he saves it for fellow Coloradan Roy Halladay, who wins for the 14th time this year. Halladay now 14-4. And Jason Hamill takes the loss. He is 6-11. The Rockies fall to 51-60. For the first time this year, they're 9 south of 500. And the Phillies roll on. They've won 6 straight. They are 71-39, the best mark in the game. Today's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Ryan Howard, who did not have extraordinary numbers at Coors Field, had a big 3 games. In fact, today he drove in 4 after hitting a couple of home runs yesterday. He hit his 3rd in the last 24 hours. He is the RBI leader in the National League with 87. Philadelphia wins it once again, 8-6 over the Rockies. Stick around, the postgame show's up next.